Good morning. This is week 5 of our Back to Reality message series. And we've been looking at the readings for these past few weeks with a view towards the reality of each reading, what they're really saying. The readings have been giving us a much-needed reality check. But along those lines, we've been hearing from the letter of St. James. James was a very interesting character there. He has a no-nonsense approach to his delivery, and he's not afraid to take on challenging issues. Most likely, it's not either one of the James that are mentioned as the apostles, as they were both martyred and most likely had died by the time that this letter from James is written. So we don't know for sure who he was, but he distinctly has a certain style and pattern to his letter. But the second reading on the surface sounds like that old faith versus work argument. But there, it's not an either-or argument, but it's a both-and. That obviously faith is the very foundation of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. That faith is the starting point, but there it can't end there. That it's both and. It's both faith and good works. That good works are really the fruit of our faith. That you can't have one without the other. That if we look at it this way, that if you have someone who stands in front of you and wants to tell you how to run your business or take care of your family or manage your employees or stay healthy, and that person is unsuccessful, alone, unfriendly, unhealthy, and rude, you're probably not going to listen to them. It's like if you go to the gym and you have a personal trainer and they're overweight and out of shape and eating a hamburger and eating fries, telling you how to get healthy and exercise and eat right, that it doesn't quite jive with the message that they're sending. The same with faith. That if someone who says to a destitute, hungry, homeless person, go in peace, keep warm, and eat well, Jesus loves you, God bless, without offering any help whatsoever, that person's faith is questionable, especially from the outside looking in. That it's a shallow faith, one that exists only on their lips. We ask, is that person really a follower of Christ? And that St. James, in answering the tough question for us, says no, that it isn't faith, that he's giving us a reality check, telling us that we need to be living our faith if we want to have purpose and meaning in this life. What is this life all about? And for Christians, it's about discipleship, being a follower of Jesus Christ. That it was once said that the greatest single cause of atheism in the world today is Christians. Christians who profess Jesus with their lips and deny him by their lifestyle. That's what an unbelieving world finds simply unbelievable. That's what James is addressing. Non-believers, the unchurched, the atheist, the fallen away. Those are the people that are sick and tired of witnessing Christians deny Jesus by their lifestyles. And here at St. Peter, we're trying to address this. We're encouraging every man, woman, and child that comes through our doors to live the gospel message, to be an authentic disciple of Jesus Christ. That message is for the whole world, not just us alone. That Jesus called all of us who call ourselves Christians to witness and share our faith. That we're a religion of missionaries. That we've had a long tradition throughout the centuries of going to faraway places to share the gospel, that we have an obligation to take it outside, to take Christ into our homes, our offices, our schools, our neighborhoods, our little town of Jupiter and beyond. That in the gospel today, Jesus says to Peter, you're thinking not as God does, but as human beings do. But the point is that we have a tendency to think of ourselves as isolated spiritually, of not being part of something much bigger than just me. The reality is that we need to be disciples of Christ ourselves, because Christianity is just like parenting, and that you're always being an example. Sometimes a good example, and sometimes a bad example. But speaking of kids and non-Christians, they're always watching. Kids watch and judge us by our actions. And the people who don't go to church or have quit going to church, they watch and judge our faith by our actions. They decide if it's a faith that they want to be involved in by our works, not so much by what we say. They want to see if we walk the walk and not just talk the talk of Christianity. That Jesus understood the limitations of our weak human nature. That's why Jesus gave us a road or a path to discipleship. And that's what we've been talking about, of taking the next steps. That the steps that we've spelled out really are the path to growing in our role as a disciple. And we're called to continue to take those steps, one at a time, several at a time, one per year, but always to challenge ourselves to grow deeper and deeper in our discipleship, to live out our faith. If you take a look at this line from the gospel today, who do you say that I am? That Jesus posed this question first to the disciples there, who are others saying that I am, but then he made it personal. He asked the apostles themselves, who do you say that I am? There, as Peter was the one that made that great profession of faith, you are the Messiah, the Son of God. That imagine if Jesus stood here and asked us that same question. But there he tells us that we can't speak our answer, that we have to live our answer. That if we truly believe that Jesus is the Son of God, then it should affect every single thing that we do in our lives. The way we see ourselves, the way we see others, and the way we see our world. That to be an authentic follower of Jesus Christ means that total transformation to be a disciple, and to live it out in real and concrete ways, not just on our lips, but in the way we live our lives. And so what does your life say about who Jesus is? If you're not satisfied with the answer, do something about it. Take the next step in discipleship. That's what discipleship is all about. That's our calling. Is it our reality?